The BBC reports the Crown Prosecution Service filed the charges after receiving new evidence against the far-right influencer brothers from a regional police station. Andrew Tate faces 10 charges connected to 3 alleged victims, while Tristan faces 11 charges connected to 1 alleged victim. According to the BBC, those charges will be handled after the criminal cases are concluded in Romania.
Guys, if you're 5 years old, please comment down below if you're sad about this. Good everyone! We just had some shocking news coming in hard about Andrew and Tristan Tate, where prosecutors in UK have now confirmed 21 charges now being authorized against them. I feel like the topic of Andrew Tate being in legal trouble is one of those dramas that gets revived every single year, non-stop. Like, when it does happen, right, it is good news, but it's like very small steps that should have happened much sooner, honestly, considering the filth that he is. Of course, it can't really be that simple, you know, because stuff like this is very complicated. But let me shut up now and get on with the video, because as you'll see in a second, the charges are pretty bad.
This is the second time that the Tate brothers have been criminally charged for things that I can't even say right now, otherwise the video will be demonetized. Unfortunately, the top G Alpha Sigma male is back in the headlines.
Oh boy.
You are weird.
Oh my god.
You and hate you, Andrew Tate.
Bro, hold on. Bro, I miss this fucking like era of Instagram Reels or TikToks with like a fucking like the gayest Andrew Tate edit. I miss that era. Wow. You have no idea how many fucking like 6-year-olds were fucking shot away by this.
The man who spread on YouTube Shorts and TikTok like a cancer for well over a year. And I was gonna say that this is good news because him and his brother are being charged, but the charges are not good. Here it is loud and clear. Andrew Tate and brother...
Andrew Tate's being charged? For bad things? Yeah, no shit. Like, look, I'm not gonna say it right, you know, out loud, but you know, the R word, human trafficking. Of course not.
Tristan charged with, there you go, and human trafficking in the UK. And it's not just those 2 specific charges. As a matter of fact, Andrew Tate is facing 10 charges connected to 3 victims, including actual bodily harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain.
Yeah, that's bad. Also, he's pushing 38. Holy fuck.
And his brother
also, I had no idea, you know, like how old he was before, but like, you know, I could never expect 38. Holy shit.
Tristan is facing
get a family, man.
A measly 11 charges connected to 1 victim, including that, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking.
Okay, you know what? People call Tristan like the little brother, you know, that no one cares about. He at least has more charges than Andrew.
21 charges between the 2 of them, and you might be thinking to yourself, hey, isn't this old news? Weren't they accused of literally...
Guys, I'm crying at Top G being arrested.
The same...
He's not being arrested right now, but you know, he's got the charges. So the second he steps foot in the UK, he's getting fucking arrested. But like right now, I think he's in America at the moment, so not really an issue yet.
Same stuff, just like
it's a non-issue right now.
Year or 2 back? Yes. They were, and it was completely separate. Those charges happened in Romania, and Andrew Tate and his
Let's go Romania, yeah, let's go.
Brother ended up fleeing over to the UK as well as the United States, and I'm assuming all of that fleeing was an effort to avoid having to deal with this. But they're now having to face the music. As a matter of fact, if we jump over to this article here.
Can I say, I think it's so fucking funny that this guy who's been living in Romania, you know, #1 country, he lived it the entire time, you know, like praising it as, you know, the best conservative country in Europe, and the second he gets arrested, you know, or gets investigated, he fucking dips out of there and ignores, you know, all the preaching he made about being the best country. What a fucking weasel.
Here, they actually make mention and specifically notate what is going to happen in regard to the Romanian charges that they faced. Now, these charges that we're talking about today were authorized in January of 2024, but the full...
Oh my... Holy shit, I'm sorry, that flashback, you know, how old I was. January 4th. I was doing like fucking gay ass reaction videos. I mean, like right now, right? But even worse ones. Even yet. Holy shit.
Full detail.
Guys, thank you again for the support channel. You know, we did really well this month.
Have only
this year actually
been released just now. So the Bedfordshire.
I feel like, you know, like this is a very difficult situation. You know, having crimes and charges, you know, from a different country back in Romania.
Police issued an international arrest warrant for the brothers over allegations which they unequivocally deny said to have occurred between 2020 2012 and 2015. The Tate brothers are facing separate allegations of trafficking minors, sexual intercourse with them, and money laundering in Romania. So again, those are some of the other charges that they were facing in Romania. And so far, what I've been able to glean is that the charges that they have in Romania are going to be taking priority, and so they'll be facing those charges in Romania first, which means, if I understand this correctly, they're
Okay, alright, wait, I'm gonna play
being
this.
extradited to Romania to deal with those charges, and then after that, they'll be extradited to the UK to face the new charges that we've recently found out about. Now,
Oh my god, they're fucked actually. If that's true and that is the case, I mean, bear in mind, like Quinn feels like a commentary channel, but if that's actually fucking correct, that is insane. So they get taken to Romania, they get fucked in the ass, you know, with all those charges, and then they go to UK, fucking three fingers now, getting fucked in the ass with those charges. That's insane. They are so fucked.
when we're specifically talking about Romania, you guys might
But I feel like it'll be a very long process, you know, before they actually face any jail time, you know. Maybe a couple of, 5 years maybe, going through courts, all that shit, before, they step foot into the jail.
even remember a lot of footage
I'm guessing like they might like pile up all the years and then they stay in one prison. Like that would be psychotic. Okay, 20 years in Romania, then 20 years in London. No, that'd be insane.
of them being on house arrest and them talking
If I sound fucking moronic, please bear in mind I'm a nobody. I don't study law. I'm not queer.
about that while they
I'm not
were
a nerd.
in Romania. Now, they were under house arrest in Romania in connection to an investigation that was looking into them having human trafficking and forming a criminal gang to sexually exploit women. Now, the Romanian authorities indicted the Tate brothers back in 2023, and so that's what put them on house arrest. And that's when they were crying
Hold on, I'm sorry. Go back a second. What the hell was that pose?
there's back in 2023, and so that's what
My God, what is that arch? Look at that arch. Ooh.
put them on house arrest. And that's when they were crying and weeping about having their very nice cars and watches and like $300 million in crypto being confiscated. That was why.
Oh my.
Weeks after
Bro, like this was probably like fucking 9/11 for like all the 6-year-old. Oh my god, Andrew Tate's being investigated by the fucking Romanian police. And what is that? What do you call that car? Is that Porsche? I don't fucking know. But like, for every like young kid that looked up to him, this was probably heartbreaking.
police came
I hope whatever kids, grew up praising him, glazing him, right? I hope they, grow up eventually and they see like, oh my god, he was not a human being, a good human being by any means.
for their owner, they returned for his cars. The power of a Ferrari
It's a Mustang, yeah, that was the name, a Mustang. Fuck me, it was a
paralyzed
horse.
in the grip of a Dowdy police truck. Insurance against any future compensation claims from victims, but also a sign that investigators here are confident.
Also, I saw as well, apparently, like, there's a couple of people like fucking scrapped the car, as it was being towed away before it reached the destination, apparently, allegedly.
Whatever the truth about life behind these walls, its secrets are now being scrutinized by investigators. This fleet of luxury cars, the toys of a successful businessman, or the proceeds of a trafficking ring.
Really quick though, I need to flip a coin. Go ahead, you know the drill. Call it heads or tails. 3, 2, 1.
Heads.
There we go. It is tails, ladies and gentlemen. That is tails. It's hard to see, but it's a weird quarter. Now, if you called tails, congratulations. You have to subscribe now. You are obligated to subscribe. You don't want to.
Yes, I have to.
You don't want to,
I'm
little
already
baby.
subbed.
You don't want.
I'll join actually. How much for the £1? Oh, it's not that so bad. Guys, go join
Maybe you
Quinn
should
Videos
ask before I flip the
members.
coin. And if you got heads, that means you lost, which means you have to subscribe. It's a win-win for me, a win-win for you. Subscribing to me is awesome. And if you don't subscribe, you're a loser. On a serious note, if you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. You're the reason I get
I
to
mean, it's only like 4 minutes.
do this, and
I dedicated 4 minutes of my time watching you.
hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Now, something happened during that process, and it specifically notates here. In December of 2024, a Romanian appeals court ruled that the human trafficking case against the Tates could not go to trial due to several legal and procedural irregularities from the prosecutors, per the Associated
Yeah.
Press. The case has since been returned to the prosecutors and remains open.
I
And
was
then
saying, God, actually, yeah. Whenever you have stuff like this, right, with somebody living in a country and they can dip out back and forth non-stop, it takes like a long ass time to actually have it processed.
in February,
Or for it to go anywhere.
right here,
Like, I remember hearing about this, Andrew Tate being arrested or charged, whatever, back in like early 2024. That fucking, like you showed before, right? January 2024. it was fucking like that long of a story.
They came to
And there were probably like stories, you know, like before then, maybe late or mid 2023, potentially, I feel like.
the United States, which caused a bit of the stir in Florida. The governor there was not happy about it.
Clearly, the federal government has jurisdiction, whether they want to rebuff his entry into the United States, and I have confidence that whether it's Pam Bondi or Kristi Noem, that they will be looking at that. But the reality is no, Florida is not a place where you're welcome.
I'm sorry, that's so goddamn funny. Bro, like, how chaotic are you? How devious are you that the governor of Florida has been like, no, we're not taking you in.
With that type of conduct in the air. And I don't know how it came to this. We were not involved. We were not notified. I found out through the media that this was something that was happening.
But even in this older article, you can see mention of what we're talking about today, which is the records that were made public about the UK arrest warrant relating to alleged sexual aggression charges. And that leads us to...
Yeah, I think at most, you know, all I knew was that he was being charged in Romania and America, but like the UK as well. Hold on, I think they're half American, half British, so because that would make sense.
Today,
and they probably like lived there for a bit and had their own devious operations there as well, potentially.
Been officially charged with these 21 charges. Like I said earlier, including rape, actual body harm, human trafficking, and controlling prostitution for gain, as well as his brother Tristan facing 11 charges. Now I'm curious to hear what you guys think, and I mean that brother Tristan facing 11 charges.
We are 11 charges, but relating to one woman, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. Oh, that poor single one woman. Holy shit, dude.
Now I'm curious to hear what you guys think. And
that poor goddamn soul.
I mean that because they haven't, from what I understand, they haven't actually been charged with anything successfully. Like, they haven't actually been completely prosecuted yet, even with the charges that have been starting back as far as 2023. I just went ahead and double checked. In total,
he was right, you know, that early on, 2023.
Combined.
And we're still covering Andrew Tate in the big year of 2025. My God.
Andrew and his
bro, I'm gonna be fucking having kids. I'm gonna be having my great grandchildren being like, hey guys, it's a soul. Andrew Tate is finally being arrested.
Brother Tristan Tate. They have approximately 29 charges that are being held against them. And that's including Romanian charges, which they each have about 4 to 5. And then the 21 charges that have just been brought against them that we at least now know about. But that's the issue.
Was it 21 against one of them or 21 in total? Both 10 and 11 with, you know, both the brothers.
They haven't actually been prosecuted of any of these crimes. I mean, technically, with the right to a fair trial, it could be that they're not guilty of any of these. That is really hard for me to buy. Admittedly, it's very difficult for me to think that they are going to be coming out of this scot-free. I think if you get charged with rape, assault, human trafficking, assembling a gang of sorts to sexually exploit women, prostitution.
Yeah, I don't know, like even if you have like 10 or 11 charges, right? 10 of them, also 9 of them could be false, but if one of them's true, yeah, you fucked from there.
Exploitation, which is crazy.
And I get it, if you're like an international criminal, right, and you have like 10 charges, they're not gonna be like, oh, who gives a shit? No, they will fucking fully investigate you.
By the way, I feel
like the biggest barrier would have to be getting them extradited back to the UK or, you know, Romania, wherever, to get charged. That might be difficult, but you know, with time, it might happen.
Like when you get past maybe 2 or 3 charges, we're kind of erring on the side of, well, you probably did it. You probably definitely did it, maybe.
And like, bro, I think like he said before, it was Tristan, right? If there are 3 women, you know, coming together to be like victims and testify against them, yeah, he doesn't look clean at all.
Allegedly.
And also, come on, like, you know, we don't have to be obtuse. It's fucking Andrew and Tristan Tate. Do we really believe, you know, they're completely clean and they have no moral or illegal qualms on their soul? Fuck no.
I'm just a little doubtful, right? Like, how does an innocent guy, how does an alpha male Sigma top G get accused and charged with rape twice? Right.
If you're living in the Western world, this is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania.
In an online video...
That's what I fucking mean, right? This guy was trying to, you know, cover his tracks by going to Romania and setting up, like, you know, a gang there. And he used, like, the bullshit reason, like, you know, I respect Romania because it's very conservative. It's the one country in Eastern Europe, or the entirety of Europe, that maintains its core values. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Andrew Tate said he moved to...
Also, he looks like a gimp. Oh my bro, the shade. Okay, no, I don't want to be on his side, right? But the shades and the facial hair gave him aura. He's got like no hype at all right now
Romania
in this video.
in 2017, in part for what he saw.
Oh, so that's so cringy, right? So you have Andrew Tate right here, but then furthermore, you have his website, his shitty like HTML website, awesome, with him in it.
As its relaxed approach to sexual assault claims.
That's my 2 cents. Again, I'm interested to hear what you guys think. I hope we have some lawyer that stumbles across this video. Let me know what you think in the comments. So hopefully,
Bro, if we get the GOAT legal mindset, if you're watching, please cover this. It's probably a very simple case. Yeah, odds are he's probably fucked.
we'll get this all figured
with like 21 charges, between each other.
out, and then they can get put in prison wherever they need to go. Of course, first they're going to face their charges in Romania, and then they have to deal with twice as many, a little bit more than twice as many in the UK. And if not just for the women who have been allegedly abused by these 2 brothers in all of the various ways that they're being charged for, getting them sentenced and sent to whatever prison they end up, it's not only going to protect future women from potentially being victims of these 2 men, allegedly supposed.
But also, it protects like all the young generations being mind poisoned by Andrew Tate.
Supposedly, but it'll also.
I think in all fairness, right, the hype, the fucking aura behind Andrew Tate has definitely died down. There might be like some other people, like covering him as the alpha males of TikTok or Instagram. But right now, I barely know any kids. So that sounds no. I barely know any kids. I barely know anyone online, or like a community that's still obsessed with him at this point, because he's dead.
So
dead, like he has no attention anymore.
Keep
no
them
presence.
off of my TikTok and YouTube shorts. But that brings us to a close on this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a thumbs up.
I probably ruined Quinfiel's really funny joke. Hold on.
YouTube shorts, supposedly, but it'll also keep them off of my TikTok and YouTube shorts. But
I'm sorry, I killed the fucking structure behind it. I'm sorry.
That brings us to a close on this video. If you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys later. Adios. Peace. Bye.
I love the outro. Yeah, holy fuck. Again, if there's one person that, has no actual take behind this, it's fucking me, right? I have no idea, how stuff like this complicated, gets sorted out. They might get charged or you're prosecuted in both countries, Romania and the UK, and then they'll decide to either have them in one jail, in one country, and then sent over, or get the all years together and then have them in one jail, because having them go back and forth from both countries seems very complicated in my opinion, but again, I have no idea. I'm not a fucking lawyer. If any lawyers watching Azul or Quinfio, please let me know in the comments below what's the possible outcome from this. Right, once again, if you have 2 countries, right, having nearly like 10 charges made against you, yeah, odds are, no matter what, in a matter of time, you will get fucked eventually. I feel like that's my 2 cents. There you go.